Breaking news. According to an Italian sociologist, Ukraine is contracting as a result of NATO expansion. An article written by Lewis University associate professor and terrorism expert Alessandro Orsini for the Italian newspaper Il Fatto Quotidiano speculated that the eastern expansion of NATO would cause Ukraine to lose the cities of Kharkiv, Sumy, Mykolaiv, and Odessa. To paraphrase his article for Il Fatto Quotidiano, the more NATO grows, the smaller Ukraine would become. The journalist claims that the region's delicate power balance is currently being disrupted. Because of Finland's membership in NATO and its gifts of military hardware to the Ukrainian armed forces, this has occurred. Orsini argues that this necessitated an expansion of Russia's special operations in order to keep up the same level of security. The essay's author implied that the United States was acting cynically by claiming that, due to the fault of the White House, Ukraine may lose control over several cities. His summary suggests that Kharkiv, Sumy, Mykolaiv, and Odessa are the questionable locations. Putin said at the month's end that Russia is not actively seeking a military confrontation with NATO but that, if someone wishes, Moscow is prepared for it. Attempts to incorporate Ukraine into the alliance, as stated by the head of state, pose a threat to international security, and the Kremlin does not understand the goals of Western countries. Because of this, the Kremlin has trouble comprehending the motivations behind Western nations' actions. On Wednesday, Laura Ingraham of Fox News harshly criticized Vice President Joe Biden for his response to a reporter's question about Hunter Biden's business dealings. In a question to the president about his son's business dealings on Wednesday, Fox News White House correspondent Peter Doocy cited testimony from Devon Archer, a former business associate of the president's son. Prior to his surrender to serve his prison sentence, on July 31, Archer spoke to investigators from the House Oversight Committee, telling them that then Vice President Biden had spoken with his son, Hunter, multiple times about their business deals. See also, "That's facilitating a bribe." Byron Donalds responds to new details about the Putin ally who paid Hunter millions. One of your son's former business partners testified that you frequently used the speakerphone to discuss business with them. Do you mean? During the president's stop in New Mexico to promote Bidenomics, Doocy posed this question to Vice President Biden. "I never talked business with anybody, and I knew you'd have a lousy question," President Biden replied. The New York Post reported on October 14, 2020, that Hunter Biden had left a laptop containing emails relating to business dealings by the Biden family at a Delaware computer repair shop. In October of 2020, the Daily Caller News Foundation published an article stating that one of the emails was verified as genuine. "I need a good question for Vice President Joe Biden. Do you have a preferred hue? To what zodiac sign do you belong?" asked Ingraham. Now, if you're a member of the press with a badge to the White House and you don't want answers on this topic, then you shouldn't come in tomorrow. Get it over with and send your application to the DNC. Since the truth is that they all know what we all know, Ingraham continued, that Hunter's only knowledge of foreign transactions involved hookers and the only high returns he could promise were from cocaine. When asked about his qualifications, the interviewer said, "Only expertise back then and now is limited to one area: selling access to his father and his father's vast network of contacts." To counter the claims made about Hunter Biden's business dealings, Ingraham showed clips from CNN and MSNBC. According to Archer's testimony, which was released by the House Oversight Committee on Wednesday, Hunter Biden received $3.5 million in 2014 from Russian oligarch Yelena Baturina, who dined with the then vice president at the Italian restaurant Café Milano in Washington, D.C. that same year. The issue isn't whether or not Joe Biden personally accepted money from foreign business interests or oligarchs, as Ingraham put it. It's true that he's an idiot, but surely he's not that dumb, right? His son benefited, so he did, too. His last surviving son was killed, sending a message to the world that American policy was up for grabs. We might never find out though. But as long as Joe Biden is in charge, this White House will be shrouded in suspicion of corruption.